welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, December 26th, 2016. I am Dave Biddle, very happy to be joined by the People's Champ, Matt Baxendell. Bax, welcome in, and how was your Christmas, my friend?
Sheer mayhem, my friend, whenever you're traveling with 3 kids under the age of 6 to multiple family events. As long as the wheels don't come off the car, I think you're having a successful Christmas. So, sheer mayhem. I'm looking forward to a relaxing week until the Fiesta Bowl.
I only have 2 kids, and I can just imagine. We were able to just stay at the house yesterday here in Columbus. We did our traveling the week before and the week before that, so we just had a nice relaxing day here in the capital city yesterday. Ohio State's team flying out today to Arizona. They will have their first practice tomorrow. Kind of a condensed week. Usually coaches like to be out there for like 6 nights before they play a game, but because the game's on New Year's Eve, obviously with Clemson, and because of Christmas, a little condensed week out there for the Buckeyes this week. But I think Clemson's doing the exact same thing, so it's really no big deal. But your thoughts about that?
Well, first and foremost, let's hope everybody gets on the airplane. I know in past years there was occasionally times where somebody didn't get on the plane and we all went, wait, what? So let's get everybody on the flight first and foremost. But the condensed game week would be a big deal if it wasn't an equal opportunity for both Clemson and Ohio State. You know, it's not like Clemson's getting an extra day or 2 to prepare and the Buckeyes are flying out late or something. So, you know, this is something where, look, you've been preparing for Clemson for a month. At this point, this is just getting yourselves into a rhythm and ready to rock and roll when it comes to getting an opportunity to play for a national championship. So, you know, Urban Meyer's done things like this before. Maybe it's a shorter game week than he's used to, but let's face it, they played on January 1st. It's only an extra day, so it's not that much of a condensed game week. It's not like it's 3 days of prep and then you're playing.
What are your thoughts on this matchup? The Buckeyes are favored by 3 points over Clemson in the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl. That point spread has not changed. Just your thoughts on this matchup. Are you confident that the Buckeyes are going to win?
I'm confident in OSU because I see this game as the type of game where OSU controls their own destiny by the way that they play themselves. This isn't a more talented team. This isn't even really a toss-up game if the Buckeyes come out and play to their abilities. To me, just like every other game this year, this game is going to hinge on what the Buckeye offense can do. Because as good as Deshaun Watson is, as good as Mike Williams is, as good as the rest of their skill position players are, Clemson has not really played a defense on par with Ohio State's. This quote-unquote vanilla Ohio State defense showed Oklahoma exactly what it could do. It showed Michigan exactly what it could do. This is a very good defense. And if Clemson even gets close to 30 points, it would be a bit of a surprise, despite all of their talent. To me, the real question mark is what does the OSU offense do? And that, for me, really comes down to do they establish anything resembling a passing game? Because Clemson's D-line is very good. That's usually the strength of their defense. I have not been impressed with their back 7. And when Clemson's played against good teams this year on offense, what have they done? They get 34 to Florida State, 36 to Louisville, 35 to Virginia Tech, 43 to Pitt. Those teams are all teams that could move the ball through the air a little bit. But Clemson's defense just, their linebackers are good, not great. Their secondary, I think Tankersley is massively overrated. They're a team to me that they are very vulnerable to be beaten in the passing game. And if you hit a few passes, that opens up that running attack that Ohio State wants to use so badly. To me, if OSU goes out and can execute on a few passes on offense, this could really be an interesting game because Ohio State has the ability to put up a number. Now, optimistic me says Ohio State's going to do great and they're going to score 45 or 50 points, but realist me says they're going to miss a few passes, they're going to hit a few passes, and that's what's going to keep this game closer than it should be.
I'm just glad we're 5 days away from the game. We've been talking about this for so long. The Michigan game still doesn't feel like it was that long ago, but it was. It's been like exactly a month since the Michigan game. We're only 5 days away from this game. I cannot wait. And we keep talking about Clemson's defensive line being excellent, and it is. But you're right. You look at their total defense. They have a really good linebacker in Bullware. The other linebackers are so-so, in my opinion. The secondary, like you mentioned, is so-so at best, in my opinion. Yeah, just talk more about that. People keep talking about Clemson's defensive line, but, you know, looking at their whole defense, not that impressive.
And Bullware stinks against the pass. Let's be real honest. How many games turn on this year where Bullware's getting burned by a tight end, where Bullware finds himself on a receiver and is chasing him, huffing and puffing down the field? Bullware's a good run defense linebacker. He is not good against the pass, all right? In a lot of ways, he reminds me of Curtis Grant before Curtis Grant got it together his senior year of, guy can probably play really well against the run, but, man, you put him in pass coverage and he looks lost. And Tankersley is a guy who gets a lot of hype, but man, every time you see a game with them against a decent team, he's chasing someone. If you put him against Noah Brown or Curtis Samuel, that's a big edge for Ohio State. And by the way, Ohio State's, a big fear for the Buckeyes is going against this great D-line that Clemson has. But that's a big fear for us because the right tackle position for Ohio State has been extremely problematic. What if Isaiah Prince goes out and plays a half-decent game? I mean, I don't want to set our expectation levels too high, but what if he just has an average game for a right tackle in a BCS level kind of game? That is an enormous upgrade from what Ohio State got the last month of the season out of him. So if that happens, then all of a sudden you're going to see the running game being more and more effective. So I'm really not that impressed with Clemson's defense. I keep bringing this up, but I was watching that Virginia Tech ACC championship game, and they were playing what I was calling patty cake defense. Virginia Tech scored a couple touchdowns where people just patted them with their hands as they went by. They didn't try to tackle. They look like the kind of defense to me that if you hit them hard enough, they're not going to hit you back. So, I see a lot of opportunities when you watch Clemson on defense for the Ohio State, to score points. And I think Curtis Samuel could have an enormous game. They haven't played any skill position player like him. Everybody talks about Lamar Jackson having a great game against them, which is true, but the only reason Louisville didn't beat them was because James Quick went out of bounds too quick on a late play. I mean, if James Quick knew where he was on the field, Louisville probably beats Clemson. Pitt beat Clemson. NC State should have beaten Clemson. They had a lot of near misses this year, and they remind me a lot of that Florida State team from a couple of years ago that made the playoffs that ran into an Oregon buzzsaw and got destroyed because Clemson plays down to their opposition. We've seen it all year, and really the only time that they've gone out and beaten the socks off anybody was against Syracuse. Syracuse stinks. So this is by far the biggest challenge they're going to face, and I could see Ohio State punching hard early in this game and Clemson not punching back.
Great stuff as always from the People's Champ, Matt Baxendell. You can catch his column every Sunday on Bucknuts. It is the Bucket. Actually ran on Saturday this past week, so make sure you check out Saturday's version of the Bucket if you haven't already. And Bax will be back on Monday with another version of the Bucket, hopefully talking about Ohio State moving on to the national championship game. Again, thanks to Bax, and thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate it. Hope everyone had a great holiday. Hope everyone has a great day. Let's hear some Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.